So 10 to 20 minutes, and I do that every day, and just as long as you want. Put an intent when you are starting your breath work, and so a focused intention so you can breathe it through your body. Using essential oils help as well. Nice music, it's really nice. And so you got a little taste of what life is like. You're going along nice and smooth, and then you get jolted. And it just shows you how quickly most of you were able to get right back into that space. And so it's a testament to yourself how quick you can shift and roll with the flow. And does anybody have anything they want to share?
I've heard that there's something we eat or do that solidifies or crystallizes our pineal gland, and then it doesn't work right. Can you talk about that and what we can do to correct it?
Fluoride? Okay, fluoride is really big in that. And they actually put fluoride, Hitler started putting it in the water because he was researching how they were calming people and subduing people that were mentally ill, and they were using high doses of fluoride. So he put it in the municipal water, so he sedated the masses, and they were more easily controlled. And then it kind of came on, and people picked it up, and they sold it to us as being good for your teeth. But calcium fluoride, which is there's one state, like in Montana area, in the Four Corners area, there's a city that the water is naturally high in calcium fluoride, and they have very little teeth issues or cavities. And so they link that up, and they use that study, and they use sodium fluoride. But sodium fluoride is a byproduct of aluminum. When they clean aluminum, and so they needed to do something with it. So when that study came out, the aluminum people go, hey, we've got tons of sodium fluoride, we'll give that to you, sell it to you, you can put it in everybody's product and help with their teeth. And then all of a sudden you've got gingivitis, and you've got kids now having cavities, and it's amazing what they're doing with kids now, how much money the dentists are making in with the children. And it's one of the reasons is with the fluoride toothpaste. So one, get off of anything that has fluoride. Your artificial scents, Febreze is another thing that calcifies the pineal. So go with natural scents. I use Young Living essential oils because I know that they are the purest, and they really take strides to make sure that the quality is good, and it has a certain standard and frequency, and if it doesn't have that frequency when it's distilled, it doesn't go out in a bottle. So all my scents are Young Living. The food additives will also calcify the pineal. Being on your phone will also help that. So the high frequencies, the radio frequencies, the 5G, and if you research, look up silent subliminal technology, 5G silent subliminal, you'll find that the 5G has nothing to do with making our computers and our phones work faster. It's a subliminal technology that they have perfected. So out here, the radio waves are just waves, but when they pass through the brain, they actually form sentences and words and sentences. So there's one up, a 5G tower that was recently put up in my area in Beaufort. And as I came to the stop sign one day, I heard, "I'm so angry." And it's like, angry? I was just singing my lovely little I am of love, and I was so joyous and singing my little morning hymns, going to the office. And the next day, I had that same feeling at that stop sign. And the third day, I had the same feeling. And the same thought go through my mind. I said, what is going on? And then I just happened to look up, and then I saw over the trees this 5G tower that was put up while I was out of town. And they can subdue the masses with it. It's really horrific what they're doing with that technology. And having the kids in the new games with the virtual reality and having the phones put up to the pineal, that really calcifies. When I go through the test in the airport, I put my hands, you know, they say, can you raise your arms? And I say, they don't go any higher. And so when I'm covering my pineal and I'm pushing my energy out so they don't get my pineal. So that's my intention there when I go through that little x-ray.
Do you have any thoughts about how we can protect ourselves from that 5G?
One, make sure that your bed is not on the same wall as your smart meter, because they put the smart meters on the phone, on the houses, most of the time while people were not at home. And with that 5G technology, it's far infrared and negative green, and that technology, they can actually utilize your televisions, your phones, your monitors in your computer. They can, whether it's on or off, they see everything that's going on. They can record everything in your house. They can be at the street. They know how many people are in your house. They've got the heat sensors, whether you're sleeping, whether you're active, how much money you have in your house because of the magnetic strips. I mean, all that stuff is coming through the smart meter. And what you can take it off, but you have to go through the legal process to get it off, or you get fined by the city and the state for taking it off of your house.
They charge you monthly extra too.
So there are ways to do that. I have a friend, David R., who does these holograms, and what is different with these holograms is David R., he takes sacred geometry and frequency and he infuses it. There's a lot of holograms on the market, and some people just make pretty pictures and then they do a sticker and then they go, oh, this is good for such and such. David R.'s holograms, they actually do what they say, and there's, I have them on my water bottle so it's cleaning the water. Do
you have a website for him?
It is. It is Sovereign, S-O-V-E-R, glasses, E-I-G-N, Sovereign dash Alliance, ALLIANCE.com. So when you go on and you click on the holograms, he'll show you diagrams, and he's got kits, and they're inexpensive. They're like $20 for the kits. The kits for your phone, it's 2 to 3 phones that it will protect. My phone has the holograms. Here's my phone. So he puts the holograms on the phones in a pyramidal shape, and he shows you, they're on my car. If it was light, you could see on my car. So I have them on the 4 corners of the windshield, and the front and the back, on the top, on the bumpers, and on the doors. So I'm in like a Merkaba of energy. And this is one of the patterns. So it's if you put another one here, you create a 3rd dimension, or you can put them on the front, and it makes it 3-dimensional and 4-dimensional. So he's really good because he and his daughter Sarah, they will actually come on the phone. They're available, so when you connect to them, they will walk you through if you have any questions. We put them in the house, in the corners of the bedrooms, and we put them on the top and the bottom so you can get to harmonize the rooms. So for me, and then if you notice on my computer, voila! And I have them on the bottom, and I have them on the top. So this way, it helps, it reduces the energy, because I'm on my computer so much. It reduces the electromagnetic field that I'm absorbing, and I can be on my computer for hours and never get tired. So that's a really good and inexpensive way to do that. So, yes.
Do you know whether shungite?
Oh, shungite is good.
So how would you use that
So,
with the 5G and with all these things?
so you can put shungite wherever you want in your house. You know, you can set it around. You can, they have shungite stones that have sticky on them that you can put them on your phone. Actually, I preferred David R's holograms better, because I had shungite on my phone and it's still, the negative green frequency was coming through, and it doesn't come through when you pendulum on the phone. And he'll do exercises where he'll have everybody put their phone on the floor, and when people start to get tired, then he'll pass out the holograms, and he'll hologram everybody's phone. And then you put them on the floor, and then they can feel the energy, and they don't get tired for the rest of the class. So he lets you experience the difference. And I'll get to you in just a minute. Yeah.
Can you put a hologram on your third eye?
Oh, you can. And you know, I don't take the sticky off, because you know, I'm an experimental girl, you know, I do that. So I put it on my third eye, put it on my heart, you know, just, and you can set them on the floor around you, you know, on your bed, and lay in the center of it. But when you have it in your room, then you don't have to worry about it, because it's harmonious.
Can you put it like on the on your phone? I have a landline. Can you put it on the?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Just stick it on there, and
you would put it underneath, and then you would put it on top, and then you would put it on the handset.
Can it also, you know, alter any, you know, anything coming through on the phone line that can be a problem? You understand what I'm saying? Can it change the energy, or am I?
It does change the energy.
It does.
And you can pendulum that, and he has the meter, and if you have the little meters that read the hertz frequencies, you can check that, and you can check the negative green and stuff. And you had.
How, if you unplug the technology, how does it still record everything? Is it because it's somehow in the meter?
Well, unplugging it would be good, but as long as you're plugged in, they have access. If your phone is on, if your phone is off, they still have access to your microphone and your screen. If your appliances are plugged in, they have access. If they're not plugged in, you don't. If it's on a Bluetooth where it's automatically synced up to your router, they have access.
I try to unplug my router at night.
Oh, and that's good. But they still have ability to, with the way the smart meter comes in to the energy, it's like a cage. They still can, from the street, with their computer, see where people are, whether you're sleeping, whether you're active, how many people are in the house.
But if you don't have a smart meter on your house, they can't do that, right?
Correct.
In Cobb County, you can pay an extra $20 a month and have a non-smart meter.
That's nice.
Yep. We live in an apartment community, so I have no idea where the smart meter is.
So if you're in an apartment, you really have to take care, because they will put all the smart meters on one wall. And if your bed is on that wall, you will find everybody in those apartments are going to have some kind of health conflict. So check to see where your smart meter is, and if your bed is up against the wall that the smart meter is on, move it. And you'll find that you sleep better, your health will be better. So.
What about as we move vibrationally up? Like if someone is blessed to be able to be at 5D most of the time, would they still be affected by this?
No. When you raise your frequency up, because we really have surpassed in our consciousness, we've surpassed 3D, and in our waking consciousness, we're in 4 and 5D. So as you're raising your frequency up and you're holding that vibration, and you know you're holding it when your third eye vibrates and you're in that state of bliss, and when you're in that bliss in a waking consciousness, then you know you have a higher frequency, and you'll find that nothing penetrates. And it's that the highest frequency in the world and the greatest power is unconditional love. It's in the heart. So raise your frequency and clear your emotional issues. And
while I'm working on that, is there a way to uncalcify the pineal?
absolutely, because you're doing the breath work, and you do, if you use essential oils, Young Living essential oils, in the Bible it says hyssops and cedarwood, or hyssops and cypress. So hyssops dissolves, it removes all the old bad habits, that bad frequency. Because in the Bible, who was it? Says, bathe me, Leviticus, bathe me in hyssops to wash me clean. So the frequency of hyssops washes the cells clean, and then you put cypress or cedarwood on, and cedarwood and cypress reprogram the DNA to its original state.
So where do you put those in your body?
Anywhere wherever you're guided, even if you just smell it. But your cells, your DNA, they are a mirror, they're a hologram, and each cell is a hologram in itself that holds the frequency of your divine original cell and frequency. And when you're given, when it's held in the environment, that it can go back into balance, whether it's breath work, frequency, or essential oils, or whatever it is that you're using. When it goes into that higher frequency, it reproduces and it remembers its original state, the immaculate mirror of God. And then you reproduce that higher frequency in those cells. So cypress and cedarwood help you clear out. And hyssops clears out the negative energy and the negative habits, and cedar and cypress then reprogram your divine.
The alternative modern view, so you have a picture.
Mm-hmm.
The quantum people say there's no picture there until you observe it.
Absolutely.
So all you have to do is not observe the lower, only observe the higher, and that's what you'll see.
Absolutely. What you reflect.
But that's just quantum mechanics.
Yeah, I like the quantum. I hang out in the quantum realm a lot, and I'm glad that science is catching up with me, because I've had experiences that you see in Spielberg movies, and then I had to wait for science to catch up so I could understand what was happening to me. It's kind of cool.
Now, how do you spell hyssop? I'm sorry.
Hyssop. And you can find it in Young Living. Young Living has a very pure hyssops. The only essential oils I put on my body or in my body are Young Living essential oils, because they are really pure. They watch them from seed to seal. It's good. And I've planted those seeds. I've harvested them. I made them chips, and I put them in the distiller, and I've watched the distiller to make sure that the temperature doesn't get too hot or too cold. And then as it comes out, it comes into the bubbly, the separator, so the water's in the bottom, you get the oil, then they take the oil and they filter the oil, and then when it's pure and they test the oil, they put it in the bottles, they put a cap on it and a label, boom. It's good. I've done all of those steps. I love it. So, any other questions? So, yes.
So tell us about your DVDs and your book that's not quite out yet.
So my DVD is what you saw here, and there's 2 parts. There's a tutorial, so it walks you through everything, and then you can choose whether you want the tutorial or you just want the 20-minute music and the picture. They're $10. So I have those here. I have a book that it is coming out. I was really trying hard to get it done for you guys. It's so close. Those little footnotes, I'm just this close. But it talks about my spiral breath technology or technique and how it came to be, and then as in my journey, then how I was connecting the dots of what was happening when I was doing the spiral breath. So there's color. I tap into color and sound and frequency and vibration and energy and tachyon energy and the subtle organizing energy. Emotions and forgiveness and compassion and the Merkabahs, the energy of the Merkabahs. I talk about labyrinths. All of that comes together, and when I'm doing the spiral breath, I enhance the spiral breath with, I do the spiral breath while I'm walking a labyrinth, or I can visualize being in a Merkabah, or I can have music playing. Sometimes I put the earbuds in and I listen to binaural beats. And so raising, either putting myself into theta or into delta, but I like that sweet spot of gamma, in that gamma brainwave, because that's the full brain is active at that time. So for me, I like that. I can put the gamma brain waves on and be sitting down at my computer, and literally I will look up and 6 hours have gone by. And I'm in the zone all that time because I'm full brain and I don't get tired. And every once in a while, when I click into that full brain gamma wave, I will hear the flutter as the waves go from the back to the front to the back. And that's how they discern the waves and the gamma waves. It's like in delta, when you're in the comatose, it's very slow, back to front to back. And then when you're in theta, it's a little faster. And children are in theta, they're in that theta brainwave, so that's why they can, they learn so fast. They see it, they got it. And then when you go into high school, junior high and high school, you start going into that alpha stage, so you're getting a little higher. And depending on where you are in that alpha, it can make you relax, or it can hype you up a little bit. And people that are really freaky and wired all the time and just, oh, they can't sit down, they're in high beta. They need to listen to alpha or theta to drop them down, and very quickly they'll be in balance. So brainwaves, I like brainwaves. I go into those in the book too.
And what source do you have? I mean, all of us here have projects. We love to focus.
I actually, there's a YouTube, my favorite ones are on the YouTube. So there's a company that has them, and if you look for brainwaves, you know it's the right one that I like. This guy who puts it out, it's very pure, and there's not music behind it, it's just the tone. Some of them really just like, like ripping the headphones off, and it wires me. But this one, it's the light that goes across the screen. So the gamma, I believe, is pink, and then they have green, and they have blue and orange, I think. So when you see that color going across, that's the brain waves that I like. And then and they run for an hour and a half. So I just, sometimes I can click repeat, and it just keeps repeating, but once it does an hour and a half, then I just, hit repeat, and I'm good to go. So that's my favorite one. So look for that. And you can always email me, and if you can't find it, and I'll email the links, because I've gotten all the links. I send them out to my friends. Their kids, when they're in school and they're doing homework, they've got it playing. The ones that have the speakers through the house, it's playing all the time, and their grades are coming up. Their kids' grades are coming up. It's nice. I get real creative with stuff.
Maybe for the next newsletter, Dowsers newsletter, you could give us a list of these links and I can
Oh.
put it in there.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
That would be
Oh, yeah.
wonderful.
Good thought, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way
That'd be
everybody
my
can get
pleasure.
it.
Are any of those view tubes with the binaural bleeds, do they have anything programmed in there? Do we have to watch anything?
Yeah, so they do. Some of them do. If you find yourself getting agitated, there's something underneath. You can also program yourself, by tapping and saying, you're just activating. This is a technique that I learned in called subliminal. It was a subliminal reading, but we would tap our foreheads and or the temples, and so if you're being distracted by something, you can say, I will not be distracted by this, I will not be distracted by this. But you could also say, I will hear all subliminals quickly and easy. So I do that before I go into Walmart, Kroger's, the grocery stores, because they've got subliminals running under the music. So have you ever been going through and you just go in for 3 things and all of a sudden the bleach, you got a gallon of bleach on. Oh, you need bleach. We have a special on bleach. So when you program yourself to hear the subliminals, and you can tap your thymus and then tap here too, and you just say, I will be aware of all subliminals that are come my way, that I come in contact with. You'll start noticing that when you go into the store, you'll start to get a headache or you get a little agitated. Then the subliminals are going. So I always go in with a list. I get in, I get out. Because if I'm in there for more than 15 minutes, then I'm coming out with more things than I wanted. You'll start noticing on the television, the most expensive advertising is the 6th frame in TV and in the movies. So every 6th frame, there is a subliminal message. So after doing, and if you want some time, when you have an opening, I can come and I can teach you that process. They don't teach it anymore because the government took the guy who, he and his wife who created that technique, and they took him to teach the army and the government people, so it wasn't given to lay people, but I kind of reword it and I teach it under different names, so I can come teach you that, and it's amazing because you can deprogram yourself, and then you go sit in front of your television and you'll hear, you're thirsty, have a Coke, you're thirsty.
Whoa.
Refreshing Coke, quench your thirst with Coke. And then I'll say, did you just hear that? So I desensitized my mom one time, and we were sitting there, and she goes, I don't want a Coke. And I said, I didn't say anything. So it actually works. So you can deprogram yourself, and if you just get agitated, or you find that your mind is starting to wander, or find something else. And that's why I like this one set, is that it's just pure. And if my mind is going, it just drops me. If I can't shut my mind off, I'll put on theta or delta. And delta is that comatose sleep. And I'll put that on, and it's like within 10 seconds, I'm waking up with like throwing the earbuds off because they've been pressing on my head and the pillow for a while. So that's
Okay, I want to take a vote. It sounds like her list of links is really valuable.
Yes.
I have a resistance to sending out a bunch of stuff to Dowsers. I feel like we get the newsletter once a month and that's it. But would you all like it?
Yes.
If she
please.
gives me the list, should I send it to the whole Dowsers and say, even if you missed this talk, you might want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Tell them what they missed.
All right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if it's my eyes, but I see this magenta or fuchsia color over your hand, pinkish, purplish. And I just wondered if some of your guides might have some things to share with us.
Oh. Good question.
Please?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you just gave me goosebumps.
It's 9:31, so
Okay.
we have about
So-
15 minutes.
All right. So they're chuckling because you all are dabbling, including myself, 'cause I just did that too. So we all, let me correct that, we all are dabbling with what we know is possible, yet we're allowing the rhetoric of what's down. So they're really asking that you trust yourself, that you move into love, you use the spiral breath or whatever technique that you find that you like to clear your energy, to be honest with yourself. The most important thing with your journey to healing and coming into bliss and harmony is that you're honest with yourself. And there's no shame in admitting that you have an issue. I mean, that issue was created because of life's experience. And it's there to remind you where you've been. And it's like, my childhood was traumatic. Yes, I would prefer not to have had the experiences that I had, but I found my strength in those experiences. And a couple things happen is, I know I can go through anything and survive. So there's nothing that life will pass out that you can't overcome and find peace with. It's only the limitations that you put on yourself and the anchors that you put on yourself. Move into a place of unconditional love, not just with others, but mostly with yourself, because when you're in a place of unconditional love, it's easier to give it to someone else.
Thank you. Let's do our purchasing step.